Alrighty. Everyone, hello, welcome, good day, good evening, good time zone to you all, and welcome back. We're coming to you live here from beautiful Bungie HQ in Bellevue, Washington. My name is Andy, and I work on the social media team here at Bungie, and today we're thrilled to get to welcome all of you into a very special stream, talking a little bit about what's to come with Act 1 of episode Revenant, launching just next week on October 8th, and also we're going to go ahead and take a little bit more of a look further down the road and talk a little bit more about Codename Frontiers. I think we should go ahead and dive into a little bit of gameplay. Starting over here with you, Clayton. So we just heard a little bit about some new tonics and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about where we are and what we're going to be doing here? This is the new apothecary, I believe?
That's right. So we're in the apothecary space, and Jerome was just mentioning the tonics and potions that we'll be crafting. They come in two flavors. They come in combat flavors, and they come in reward flavors.
Okay.
The combat flavors are going to enhance, or rather boost your artifact perks, specific ones.
Yeah.
Higher rarities of these tonics will boost multiple artifact perks, which is really great.
Okay. Yeah.
And then on the reward side, we wanted to create a new or novel way to chase your gear and your weapons that you love.
Yeah.
And we took a lot of inspiration from the success of Into the Light, where players got to attune to specific weapons. And so with your reward tonics, you'll be able to attune to specific weapons within the season.
Very nice.
They're not craftable in this season, which is important to note, but you will be able to target them, and they'll have enhanced perks.
Got it. Okay. So you'll be able to go ahead and chase down that god roll you're looking so desperately for with the help of this. But also, for the build crafters out there, they're going to have even more to dive into than maybe just the episode artifact and everything. These are going to go ahead and help just boost a lot of those traits, I guess, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, we heard players' feedback. They wanted to see us invest in Onslaught. We are coming out with a brand new Onslaught called Onslaught Salvation.
Yeah.
We are going to have 3 maps that you'll be in there. You will have some new defenses. We'll have enemy factions that will be fighting into the theme of this episode. Yeah. We'll have the Scorn. We'll have the Dark Cabal.
That's right.
A bunch of other new stuff that we can get into.
Excellent. While we're on the way over as well, I heard a brief mention of our friends in the Shadow Legion as well. Can you tell us what the Shadow Legion is doing here and why they might be in league with Fickrel, Jerome?
The Shadow Legion are bumming. They are in utter disarray. Their leader has been slain, and they are grasping to anyone who can keep them in power.
Yeah.
And Fickrel holds the most powerful artifact around now.
Got it.
So they will be doing his bidding, though it will be a tenuous alliance.
They're going with Fickrel's Riz just for right now, but that may not be the case later on.
That's right.
Fair enough. Much appreciated. All right, so now we are here. We're in Onslaught, and we're on Widow's Court.
Yeah. So PvP players will recognize this map, and they'll also recognize some of the changes that we've done to accommodate for the slaying, the amounts of slaying that is necessary for an Onslaught activity.
Yeah, a quick refresher for the folks at home that may not have dove into Onslaught recently or since Into the Light. There is the 10 level mode and the 50 level mode, isn't that correct?
Right, so Onslaught Salvation will also be coming with the 3 modes that they've had in the past, which is the playlist 10 wave mode, the normal 50 wave mode, and then we'll have our expert 50 wave mode. And the new thing about Onslaught Salvation, one of the new things, is that it will not be powered fixed like it was prior in Into the Light.
Oh, right.
Power enabled, so your armor and your weapons will matter even more.
Yeah.
It will be, at the start, more difficult, but you can, through getting better, more power and grinding that artifact level, you'll be able to kind of outweigh that difficulty. Yeah. And you'll also be able to rely on some of the new defenses as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were just looking at a turret that maybe Guardians haven't seen since their days on the moon in D1.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, what's going on? We got some new defenses, obviously.
We have some new defenses. So Ashley Baker is one of the tech designers we have. She's on the fire team right now, and she has helped us build these defenses, as well as other things in Onslaught. And she's worked with the Sandbox team, who have knocked it out of the park with this rideable turret.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a standard rideable turret at first, but by upgrade 3, it's going to have more health, it's going to be dealing more damage, but it's also going to have scorching rounds come out of it.
Okay.
And what the cool thing about that is that if you have build crafting with fragments or what have you within scorching, that will play off that if you're the rider.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah. So you can go ahead and really scorch everyone.
Everyone. Clumps of enemies, those annoying demolitionists that come in front of the ADU and scare the hell out of you.
The subject or the topic of new defenses. So we're bringing back the turret from yesterdecade of Destiny, but also there's some other ones available as well. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe some new defenses that are on the way?
Yes, so the other one that we have is the Airstrike, which will have 3 cannons when you purchase it, or upgrade it. They'll be replenished there. And what that allows you to do is essentially mark anywhere on the ground, and when an enemy or enemies run over it, a giant beam, it will come down from the sky and obliterate your enemies. I'm going to keep a little bit of the secret for higher upgrades. I want to
that's
reveal
fair.
everything
That's fair.
Here, but there's some really nice upgrades.
Nimbus liked that. We'll just go ahead and put that.
There you go.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
We've heard the feedback about the tripwires, and we want to bring their value up a little bit more. So now they're going to be exploding with stasis slow fields. And on higher upgrades, they'll be creating stasis crystals for you to play off of if you have a stasis build or a stasis weapon. And then I'm happy to share that those updates will also be available in the original Onslaught as well.
Very nice. Okay, so all the updates that are happening to the defenses that are available in Onslaught Salvation will be available in the traditional Onslaught mode as well.
Just the tripwires,
Very exciting. Okay, nice. Good to see. While we're on the topic of stasis and obviously looking at our tools for destruction, Chris, I'd be remiss if I didn't try and bring up the new breach loading grenade launcher that our fire team here is getting a lot of use out of. There's obviously a decent chunk of new weapons arriving with Revenant, but let's start here. This is the new episodic exotic?
This would be the Season Pass Exotic. It's the Alastrina Stasis Primary Ammo Grenade Launcher. So we've only had one Primary Ammo Grenade Launcher before, which is Fighting Lion. Which is getting a buff this season as well, actually. It'll
that's right,
make enemies volatile when it hits them, so like some serious build crafting there, particularly in PvE. But anyway,
I cannot wait.
So this is a bit different in that it's also a projectiles travel in a straight line, so like mountaintop. Hits pretty hard. But the exotic part of it is that as you defeat enemies, you will gather these remnants, which will fill up the exotic bar, which you can see in the HUD when people aren't dead.
It's the shade.
Oh, they're in expert.
No, that's true. We should note for the Guardians at home, this is an expert mode, so they're taking the hard way, obviously.
So when the bar reaches 50%, you can special reload, and your next shot will launch a special ammo brick for you and your allies to pick up.
Very nice.
And when you reach 100, you can special reload and launch heavy ammo. So this lets you really go in on a new type of support role, which is like ammo support, which we haven't really seen in the game.
And so, we also have for the rewards side, starting on wave 30, set 3, players will have a small chance to get a fully masterwork double perked episodic weapon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And on expert, like we're playing, if you remember, the bonus chest on harder difficulties will show up. So if you're playing on expert, you have 2 chances.
Okay. All right. So really make sure you're pushing through those final levels. Try and hit that ceiling of level 50 so you can really facilitate the loot grind as much as you can.
100%.
Just wanted to point out here, you'll notice 2 things. First off, the fire team is tracking that Revenant Baron, just like you said. And also freeing captured Eliksni. And as to why people want to keep Eliksni captives alive, I'll save that for the players to discover.
Sounds deviant. A slew of new episodic weapons arriving this time. I know we've kind of spoken about this breach loading grenade launcher. Are there any other notable ones that you're most interested in, or most excited rather, I should say, in bringing back?
There are a few weapons that I'm going to personally be chasing rolls on. I'm particularly fond of the new double fire stasis grenade launcher. Only the 3rd double fire in the game, and the other 2 are energy slot. So you'll be able to run this in your kinetic slot. It's got the new perk Envious Arsenal, which is directly targeted at damage rotations. So whenever you do damage with the other 2 weapons, the weapon reloads. So you can just cycle between your weapons, get it back. And it also has chill clip, which on a double fire is particularly cool.
That's devious, honestly.
Twice or 4 times. There's also some cool synergies with the new perks on some of the other weapons. So the hand cannon can run the new perk Rhyme Stealer, which every time you shatter a stasis crystal or a frozen enemy will grant you frost armor. Which is the new verb we introduced recently. And that can also roll with Headstone, which will generate stasis crystals. So you've got this self-contained loop there. Submachine gun is an arc precision, and that's got anyway, it ties back into Jolt, right? Vault shot is great, but it requires a reload on your weapon after a kill. This one's triggered on sustained damage, so you'll jolt the target, And then the perk I'm going for in the other column is Loose Change, which every time you apply a debuff gives you a reload speed buff. So you'll be constantly having that loop cycle.
Yeah. Look at the new artifact here in a little bit once we go ahead and move through this final wave of what's in front of us right now. But there's also, it's been featured a little bit in some art about Destiny's 10th anniversary, an exotic of yesteryear, we'd say, for all the Guardians who have been sticking around for a while, rather. Icebreaker is returning.
Yeah, Icebreaker is coming back. It's something that we've been holding off on doing just because the ammo economy issues that are introduced in Destiny 1 are pretty dire.
Yeah.
But we've got a version here which we think lets you get back into that fantasy of just like always having uptime on the weapon without letting you just hang back and like plink away at enemies from range, which we never like. So the way it works is assists and final blows with other weapons will just generate ammo for Icebreaker.
Got it.
It's got like a 10-round magazine, which is also the same size as reserves.
Yeah.
So the play is that in between boss damage phases or something, you and your team slay out, and as long as you're getting assists or kills, you'll come back in fully loaded.
Got it. Yeah.
And in Destiny 1, there wasn't actually any ice to break, right? So this time we actually have a bunch of ice that you can break. I won't go into detail because we've got limited time. But
fair enough. Okay.
Ties deeply into
this stasis episode will certainly be giving people a lot of reasons to break the proverbial ice by the sounds of it. No, that's very exciting to check. Go ahead and check out the new artifact that's going to be arriving. We love getting a chance to show all of you folks this early, so you can go ahead and start your build crafting. But Chris, I know obviously last time around, if I had to kind of paint it with a meta, I'd say rather it'd be very focused on sniper rifles, solar. If there was a similar theme for this particular artifact, what would it be?
So it goes very hard into stasis. Like touches all of the stasis verbs. If you want to make a stasis build, you can amplify it in a bunch of ways here. We're also adding a bunch of grenade launcher perks. So we've got overload grenade launchers, which is great, like tagging those like super deadly overload champions. Also bringing back a variant of like everyone's favorite grenade launcher artifact perk, Breach and Clear.
Oh, yes.
So you can weaken enemies, and then when you boost it, you can get the second part of that old perk. We were saying earlier, you can boost artifact perks with the potion system.
That's right, Good. I also will admit I'm very selfishly excited to see Anti-Barrier Scout Rifle back. It's been so long.
Anti-Barrier.
I've missed it.
Barrier Scout is great.
I'm going to pretend like that's just for me, for my own benefit today.
We're trying something a bit different with this artifact as well, in that, so the first column is all anti-champion mods, and the final column is all of the pinnacle ones, like the capstones for your artifact build.
Right,
But columns 2, 3, and 4 are roughly equivalent in power, which will let you mix and match them more freely instead of feeling like you have to like go for the top tier ones. They're all usable in build.
It's less of a linear escalation and more of just a mix and match in a lot of now, as we transition into our next stage, we've got what we've called in my notes the cool stuff segment, and I think it lives up to that. So we'll go ahead and show you a little bit more of what's to be arriving with Revenant, including what you're seeing here on your screen right now. This is the second earnable skimmer that's going to be arriving in Destiny 2, the aptly named, we'll wait for it to highlight, the Xurfboard. I was so glad that was the name that stuck. As you can see, it features some very unique 9 styling, inspired by Xur himself. Both top and bottom are very arted up. The top's obviously a little bit more visible here, but if you do a sweet front flip or back flip, if you're capable of it, you can go ahead and see all sides of it. Notably, this is going to be earnable. So if you go ahead and start saving up those strange coins now, it's going to cost you 97 of them. So if you're like me and spend your weekends spending all those extra strange coins at Xur to go ahead and get more rolls on your exotic class item, maybe save up for a week or two. Also, because I work here, I've started saving up already, spoiler alert. But the Xurfboard will be available with the arrival of Revenant. So make sure and go ahead and grab the first earnable skimmer since the Guardian Games. Now, we're also going to take one quick look. Festival of the Lost is going to be arriving with Act 1 of Revenant as well, and if you all remember, you took a chance to vote on some armor sets for yourselves. So Hunters up first. You can see here we've got the Evil Wizard set. I myself am very looking forward to adding this to my collection. The Evil Gothic set is just going to only dial up more and more. Up next, our Friendly Neighborhood Warlocks. You've got this to look forward to, including what I think we affectionately refer to as probably the coolest pants we've all ever seen over here at Bungie. And breaking out from the crowd, the good wizards this time around. Titans, you went ahead and voted for it this way. You're going to have the chance to go ahead and add this into your arsenal as well. So make sure that you're prepared to go ahead and dive on into Festival of the Lost and grab this stuff once it's available.
So those tentpole moments coming twice a year now are going to bring with them fresh content and new stories that are going to move the world of Destiny forward. And to answer your question directly, the way we're kind of looking at the size of these is similar to like Rise of Iron from Destiny 1, but this is happening like twice a year as compared to the past.
Yeah.
And so, the reason we're talking about this, the rough shape of the box here that we're filling, is that what comes with it is like each expansion is going to have its own unique version of a campaign and post-game experience that you can dive really deep into beyond the initial playthrough, similar to how things like the Dreaming City or the Pale Heart from the Final Shape had worked, where beyond those initial campaign experiences, there's like further things to explore and secrets to uncover. And so making our expansions unique and deeply replayable is a big goal for us, in large part to support all the new gear and the new tiering of gear that we're putting into the game, right? And so it's one about, each of these expansions, again, they're going to tell a really compelling story as part of our next saga, but I really want to stress that they're also going to be unique experiences, unique campaigns and post games.
Yeah.
And so for Codename Apollo specifically, the first expansion coming up with Frontiers, you're going to journey to a Metroidvania-inspired destination, right? That's our guiding light for how we're creating this new location.
Yeah.
And so this new destination is going to feature a non-linear campaign that puts you in the driver's seat of exploring its world and its story. So this is very different from the past, where you're kind of following a very linear mission structure or line. That's very simple in many ways. And Allison actually recently talked a bunch about this in a blog post.
So when we made the decision to lean into that Metroidvania structure, we knew that the narrative structure had to match, had to complement that structure as well. And so the way that we're going to treat nonlinearity in Codename Apollo is when you arrive at our destination, which is a new destination, you'll be able to decide if you want to go to Region D or Region C, or maybe you want to go check out B, because that's going to be where you get the ability that allows you to access Region A, so you can talk to that character that you really like. And to help support that, we've structured our story in a complementary way. So we'll have the normal kinds of activity dialogue that you normally experience in a campaign, but there's also between 25 and 30 different threads of stories that you can discover and chain together after you complete an activity. There's so much richness to discover that we're creating.
And also, I will say, Allison, you didn't arrive empty-handed. You've got some cool concept art to share with us as well.
I brought some goodies.
Okay.
I brought some presents.
Thank you.
I brought some birthday presents. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, everyone who's born on
Looking
October
at concept
1st.
art is always a joy.
Exactly.
It's a good way to go about it. It's better than wrapping paper covering a PlayStation. I don't know.
It's true. It's true.
Let's go ahead and take a look. So this is, we've got up on screen kind of one of our first pieces of concept art from the future. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here?
No, I can't. On purpose. What I can tell you is that this is some concept art of our new destination, which, like I said, is a new place that we haven't been to before, which means that these people that you're seeing are people that we haven't met yet. We're going to learn a lot more about them, and I love this piece because the longer that you look at it, same with some of the other art that we've shared so far, the more you start to see things that are kind of familiar all the way out at this new location.
It's like
so lots of fun things to discover.
What's the symbol on that banner? Is this a seance or a wedding ceremony? Who knows?
I know,
right?
and I'm not telling
a single soul.
No.
We've got another piece of concept art is here as well.
Something we talk about a lot, and I think the last concept really spoke to it, is especially when we're developing a new destination like this, we really think about what is a storied history that's happened here. What's something that players can really sink their teeth into and dig deep into. And going into this concept, something that I love about it that's really resonant with me with a lot of the early creative discussions we had on it is that we wanted this place to feel like an exotic world that is just tailor-built around the joy of discovery, right? And then so within this new destination in Apollo, you're going to be discovering powerful abilities in order to uncover secrets in this location and in order to carve a path to the great mystery at the heart of the planet. And that's what these concepts, when I look at them in retrospective as the team is now actively building a bunch of this stuff.